Well, I'm not going to start this video off in a positive note. I'm genuinely very irritated with news that I just found out that has to relate to wrestling. So, Verse, welcome to another video. Today, Verse, I'm going to be talking about basically some news that has to do with the WWE Universe. I'm going to clarify some things for you guys since I feel like some of you guys are new here and I know a lot of people don't know this too much because I don't talk about it as much, but I'm a huge wrestling fan, Verse. I've been a wrestling fan for years, right? Mainly always been with the WWE. I never really grew up watching TNA or Impact when they were separate before they became one company. I never really watched any other competitor of WWE before until AEW came along and they became very popular. Then they kind of went down, then they kind of came back up, and then they're kind of still down, going back up. You know, AEW. A huge chunk of my family are actually wrestling fans, you know, and even been involved in the industry of wrestling, right? And by that, I mean independent-wise. For those of you that don't know, right, wrestling isn't just majorly like on networks and stuff like that, right? There's a lot of indie wrestling companies, you know, independent companies that do what they do. I should know because, believe it or not, I was actually involved in one for a little while. Not too long. I'm making plans on kind of going back on that here and there, but in the meantime, I'm kind of taking care of some stuff. But of course, I keep up to date with everything as much as possible. And nowadays, it's really hard to really get invested in wrestling because there's so much now. Where before, it would be maybe once, twice a week. Now it's like anywhere from like 3 to like 5 things a week. Damn near every day, you know, depending on what it is that you're into or what you're following. For WWE, you got 3 shows, maybe 4 or 5 if you're including Speed on X, and if you're including the live shows as well as pay-per-views. You got AEW with, I believe, them showing 2 shows a week with also a pay-per-view on a Saturday or a Sunday, so that's 3. TNA Impact, I just watch TNA Impact on YouTube, really. I just try to find clips and I just be watching what they got going on. I don't really know where they air. And then there's some independent companies like OVW that I like to watch on YouTube, you know, and I try to keep up with them. There's just so much stuff. And obviously WWE is throwing out so much out there because of so many competitors that are out there, right? So they're trying to compete with them. For WWE though, I will say, it's not necessarily the same anymore. It has matured, but man, you can just see the greed on WWE mainly because of who bought it, which is TKO. TKO is a company that owns both now WWE and UFC. So now if you're a huge wrestling fan, if you ever go to a pay-per-view of any kind, doesn't matter which pay-per-view it is, and you go to those fan events, everything is so beyond expensive. And now you got a bunch of UFC logos involved in that, which is stupid because I like UFC, but you gotta understand something. Not everyone that's gonna go for wrestling is gonna be a UFC fan, and not everyone that wants to go there for the UFC stuff is gonna be a wrestling fan. It's just, they're gonna clash with each other. So it's just a lot of promotional work going on, as well as even during the pay-per-views itself. I'm going to get into that stuff in a little bit, and then I'm going to get into this right now, because this is something that we got to talk about. This is big. WWE heads to ESPN Sports Network, lands a $1.6 billion deal for streaming major events. Just a major event? Disney ESPN will soon become the exclusive streaming platform to watch all the World Wrestling Entertainment biggest events. The reported $1 billion deal announced Wednesday will give the Walt Disney Company subsidiary ESPN exclusive US streaming rights for all the WWE major two-night events, including WrestleMania and SummerSlam beginning of 2026, the company says. WWE major live events include the Royal Rumble. Aw, man. Great. Okay. Survivor Series and Money in the Bank will also be featured on the network. The wrestling events are set to be part of ESPN's new streaming service, which is set to launch later this month. The 5-year deal is valued at over $1.6 billion, according to the Wall Street Journal. It's a major bump up from WWE's current 5-year deal with Peacock, set to end this year, which was valued at $900 million, according to the report. So just under, huh? Fan base that we're excited to super serve on our new ESPN DTC platform on ESPN chairman Jimmy agreement event. The deal also means WWE pre-shows and post-event shows are all premium live events that will be available to stream on ESPN. We're also proud to reinforce the E and ESPN. Right. Wow. He continued, WWE live events are renowned for exactly the type of rich storytelling and incredible feats, and we have experienced firsthand. It's just a bunch of ass kissing. WWE, published by Fox News. Yeah, them having SmackDown on Fox was horrible. It was horrible, man. They kept blacking out the whole screen. It was censored constantly. It was annoying. Okay, the WWE event will be available on ESPN new streaming service, set to debut on August 21st and cost $29.99 a month. You got jokes. I got jokes too. And I'm telling you, you ain't gonna laugh. You're gonna be the one mad. $29.99 a month. Okay. So this is very agitating for me. For those of you that don't know, I attended my first WrestleMania ever, like 2 years ago, which was WrestleMania 39 in Los Angeles.
Let's get down to business. Give you one more night to get this. We've had a million nights just like this. So let's get down to business.
And verse, I had the best time of my life, man. I've only been to one WrestleMania event, and man, that was so inspiring and so much fun that it made me want to do wrestling. That's why I did what I did, because I was like, you know, I love acting, but I love wrestling too. I never really did any sports growing up, but this just might be it, because it's not just a lot of wrestling going on, it's also entertainment. I love that. I could do that. People get mad at me all the fucking time. I will do great as a heel. I fucking love it. I will do that gladly. Pissing people off, throwing shit, you know, mocking them, you know, doing all this stuff. It'd be great. I would do a fantastic job doing this. I know other people that have done more WrestleMania events going to them. I will say I was originally gonna go to my second WrestleMania event, which was in Las Vegas, WrestleMania 41. But then I saw the ticket prices, and I was like, I'm a fan, but I'm not stupid. That's a ripoff. They wanted double of what I paid for the last time I went to WrestleMania. Hell no. Okay? Sometimes in situations like this, when you deal with greedy ass companies, right, you need to speak with your wallet and be like, no. As much as I love this content, as much as I love wrestling and entertainment of what it is in general, I just can't do it, you know? Because if I support this, I'm giving you the assumption that it's okay. Keep doing what you're doing. No. Stop, okay? This is not cool. This is not okay. I want to go to these events. I want to support these wrestlers. I want to go over here and do this and that. But in order for me to do that, I need to be able to do it. I can't keep doing all these things if I can't afford it. It's common sense. WrestleMania 41 wasn't even that great. I was freaking like, I mean, you know, it had some moments, but I mean, it was just such a letdown. And then even some of the audience attendance was even going down a little bit. WWE and the companies, what they try to do sometimes is that they try to announce these numbers like, oh, it's still 61,000 in attendance, you know, and it's a new record of some kind. I'm like, yeah, it's 61,000, great, but you could have had more. I feel like wrestling is at a point now where it's respected now, you know what I mean? Yeah, there's still criticism, but it's out there. But now because of TKO and all this new management going on, I don't know if it's necessarily TKO or if it's Triple H, but man, they're making decisions that are just beyond freaking dumb. With Triple H, I love him as a director because he has such creativity. He loves putting so much passion in it when it comes down to the wrestlers, helping them do what they gotta do. Great, amazing. Storytelling even, great, amazing. At times. Recently, kind of here and there. When it comes down to the business aspect though, I'm like, dude, what the hell are you doing? I get that it is a business, but you gotta make smart business decisions, not just business decisions that could literally bite you in the ass later. When Money in the Bank happened, I'm gonna be real with you, I have not seen that many ads in a ring in, I don't even know, at any time, actually, you know, I can't recall that. I'll see like a logo once in a while. WWE has done that. Well, they'll put it like in the side of the ring once in a blue moon. Even independent companies that I know will do that if a sponsor comes and pays them, right? Because they're paying them a certain amount of money, obviously. But the way how WWE does it is just so in your face. You know how annoying it is for me to see a major match between, I don't know, let's say a triple threat between John Cena, heel version with Seth Rollins and Cody Rhodes, and as they're wrestling, I keep seeing Snickers. You know how stupid that is? I'm seeing Snickers, the Cash App, and Money in the Bank. Naomi won. When she won that briefcase, and I saw the Cash App on the freaking suitcase, I was like, damn, dude. I was like, I can't even. Can you go just 1 minute without a freaking ad popping up in my face, okay? They're even making wrestlers do promos to promote stuff. Recently, for SummerSlam, they had all these wrestlers do a promo to promote Papa John. I was like, what the hell kind of shit is that, man? I don't want to see that. I'm telling you right now, if I end up actually making it into wrestling, and trust me, I am very determined to do that, and I'm telling you right now, if I ever have a company, independent or not, try to come up to me and tell me, hey, you gotta promote this, I'm gonna put my motherfucking foot down and be like, you got me fucked up. I am not doing that. You got me fucked up if you think I'm gonna be making my first appearance of any kind, and you think the Angel Man's gonna be going ahead and promoting Twizzlers, right? Like, hell no. I'll do Pepsi. But I ain't doing anything else, you know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't gonna be promoting other companies when that's not really my thing. Like, I'm not there to be a sponsor for companies. I'm there to wrestle and show people what I'm made of, you know? I'm here to entertain. That's my job. So seeing WWE become such an advertisement tool is really sad. Honestly, there's times where I just want to watch AEW because despite the problems AEW has, at least there's consistency there. At least there's characteristics there with wrestlers. Even TNA Impact has better stuff going on than that. Out of WWE, at times, it saddens me to say this. I've even heard this from other people. It saddens me to say that even at times, NXT is doing better than Raw and SmackDown. That is sad to say. And by the way, paying $30 for every major pay-per-view that goes on is ridiculous. $10 on Peacock. At first, I was like, why Peacock? That's such a random streaming service to put wrestling on. But after a minute, I got used to it because once I really paid attention to it, I was like, you know what? It's $10 a month with all these new pay-per-views coming in for free, and you get all this old exclusive stuff from both WWE, WCW, ECW, all this stuff. I was like, you know what? $10 is worth it. Not bad. I won't mind that. And now you're going to ESPN, and it's going to be $30 for every major pay-per-view that's going on. And now anybody can tell me, well, first of all, you know, it's just for the pay-per-views. It's not like you're doing it every month. No, bitch. Every month. Every month, okay? WWE has a pay-per-view every freaking month now. Remember when WWE actually used to be consistent with their storytelling and they would actually drag out the story a little bit, right? To build it up, and then the pay-per-view would come and you just wouldn't want to miss it. You waited like 2 months to see this. Now it's like every 3 weeks. Every 3 to 4 weeks, and there's most of the time, I'm gonna be real with you, there's no hype. There's no hype. I don't give a fuck what anyone tells me. There's no hype to these stories anymore because they're told in such a short amount of time. I'm like, what the hell? I hated how they build up a match and they'll do it on the Saturday Night Main Event. You know how short Saturday Night Main Event is? It's not even that long. I hate actually watch Saturday Night Main Event sometimes. It's not even anything special. It's just another way to just sell tickets sometimes. And I hate saying that, but it's true. It's not really that entertaining sometimes. Sometimes I don't even bother watching Saturday Night Main Event. So, you know, to really see the way how Triple H, or if it's TKO, mainly TKO, really doing all these changes with WWE, you can tell they're taking advantage of the fans. Especially because now when you think about it, WWE is going to multiple platforms. What do they got? Netflix, Peacock, now it's going to be ESPN. Then you're going to have what? Are you going to be going to other streaming services too? I'm not going to be getting all these streaming services just because of one showing of WWE. That's ridiculous. When I can watch AEW for free. You know what I'm saying? You know, I just really hope that fans genuinely do speak up and literally let the WWE know, hey, you know, you're really pushing it, all right? Like, I love this stuff. I genuinely do, you know, and I want it to continue to succeed, but you're giving me a hard time for no reason, man. You know, like, I'm trying to help you out, but, like, you're not really making it easy for me, okay? They really gotta fix this. I really hated this. I got back from work. I was tired as heck, and I was like, all right, let me go on. Let me catch up and see what's going on here. Maybe I'll talk about a movie or watch a movie and see what's going on. I've been hearing some things. And then I go on my Instagram, and I'm right here seeing all this stuff that I follow, talking about WWE and ESPN, and now it's gonna be $30 a month. I was like, huh? So first, you know, if you're a wrestling fan, let me know what you guys think about this, because genuinely, I'm gonna be real with you, I'm getting really sick and tired of all these advertisements in my face. I really feel like WWE is gonna be struggling eventually. I could tell already there's times where in pay-per-view events, most of these pay-per-views that are going on, there's actually empty seats. They just obviously don't show it to you because they don't want to show that. But it's there. At times, WWE is kind of going through what AEW is kind of going through, and that's bad. That goes to show how much people are kind of getting tired of this. So I'm telling you, if we speak with our wallets, eventually they're going to be like, guys, we gotta do something, because I think we pushed it. Yeah, the fans aren't happy, and we need them to keep going, right? So we're going to have to make some changes. If they had just said they're going to go to ESPN, but keep it at $10, I would have been like, all right, whatever, I get it. I remember at one point they tried to do ESPN earlier, but then there was like a conflict going on, right? I remember the deal fell flat because supposedly they told ESPN that they do these shows on these certain days, and ESPN's like, well, there's like a game going on, we're gonna have to go to that because we've been doing this for a long time, so we're not gonna stop just because of wrestling. And then the deal fell flat. And now, I guess after 5 years, they finally settled something, but for $30. Hell no. You know, back then, pay-per-view events, I remember, were like $60, but it was always like, what? Maybe like 8, 9 pay-per-views like a year? What? Or maybe 7 or something like that, right? Because again, it was spread out. But because it's every month, I'm like, what the hell? As well as considering other pay-per-view events for other wrestling companies that you might follow, AEW, TNA, anything else, for all you know, that's really a lot of money. You better have a damn well good paying job for you to be able to afford all that crap. Even if I had a paying job like that, I still wouldn't do that. Hell no. You gotta be smart with your money sometimes. So other than that though, verse, let me know what you guys think. You know, because this is already just pissing me off talking about it. I gotta talk to some friends of mine and see what they think. But other than that though, verse, if you like what you saw, do me a favor, hit the like button, subscribe, hit the notification for more content as always. Look forward to the next video, verse, and with that said, I'll see you next time. Later, verse.